Hello everybody, it's Jillian here, otherwise known as the Oil RD if you are not familiar with who I am. And my passion is to help you lose weight permanently with small changes and also to teach you about natural ways to take care of yourself. And so today I'm going to talk about how you and me and everybody never stops to think before we take action. And this stems from a book that I'm reading right now called Essentialism. And this is, hey Jackie, so Jackie, you might be reading this too, Essentialism. And it really gave me something to think about, because the concept is that in our day now, in our time, we're never bored. And when I thought about it, I was like, well, you know, that's not true. And then I thought about it, it kind of is. And because the reason for that is because we always have something to do. And what I mean is, you know, white space. We always have something to fill our white space with, because we have so much electronics at our disposal. We have our phones. We have, whether it's, you know, we might be bored doing mindless things like surfing Facebook or the internet, but we're never just sitting there in our thoughts. We never stop to think or, you know, think undistracted. Some of the most successful people in the world take time to basically unplug themselves from the world. Bill Gates is one of them, and I didn't know this, but apparently he is famous for taking off 2 weeks every few months, 2 whole weeks completely unplugged. You can't call him, he doesn't check email, he doesn't go on the internet, none of that, to completely think and be with his thoughts. There was a study I heard on the radio, it was a couple of years ago now, but it was very interesting because people were given a choice to take a shock from a shock collar or sit with just their thoughts and no electronics or no distractions for 15 minutes. And the vast majority chose the shock collar. It's really interesting. But there's really hardly ever a time where we have no way or no means to fill our white space. And because of that, we often say yes to things, we often take on things, and without, alright, Declan, be quiet. If you're going to be on your hands, be quiet, okay? We often take on responsibilities before we even think about the consequence or what is going to happen in the long run. And if we were to stop and think about what it really meant to accept something or accept a responsibility, then we would probably say no more often and not feel bad about it. Because when we say no more often, we can do things better. I have a little helper today, obviously. And we have to be intentional in our day and age to unplug. Because it's just, I used to know somebody that would keep his phone in his car to do, you gotta be quiet. Go check on Ollie, see if he needs food, okay? Because he may have eaten all his lettuce. Can you go check on him? Go see if he ate his lettuce. Please? Go check, and then let me know. Go check. So, and I think about when I was a child, and if, you know, we used to go to the pediatrician for our well visits, and we have to wait a long time. This doctor would have us wait an hour, hour and a half, and we didn't have cell phones. Most of you probably remember when cell phones just weren't a thing. And we would all sit in the office and we'd have to read books, magazines, play games, and we would be bored, and that's just how it was. My kids can't handle it when they're bored. My 7-year-old just really has a panic attack, and you know, we just don't know what it's like to be bored anymore. And we have to be intentional about it to really stop and think. And that might be when we have those breakthroughs that we need. And I think that this is part of the emotional eating, just to kind of tie it into what I do. when we are bored and those times where we are caught with our thoughts, we don't like it and we want it to go away. And eating, unfortunately, is a very quick, easy, effective distraction. But next time you are caught in your emotions or boredom, let yourself be in it. Because all too often we're just not. And it can be a good thing. Think about it. The most successful people allow themselves time to do that and purposely take the time to do that. So hope that is helpful for you, and I'm going to get off before my child does something really crazy. And don't forget, JillianMcMullen.com. I have the sample menu still going on for $7, 7 days, and that will really help you out a lot for weight loss and eating healthy, and just how I teach people to structure their day and their nutrients. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.